for the amazing event called Why Did I Join the Business School? And this is so powerful because so many people are interested in the business school. They're interested in learning more about the school, but they really want to know what's happening behind the scenes. They really want to know what happens when people join. And I thought it would be interesting to do this event. So thank you, Dr. Una, for letting us do this event. And this is going to be a great time. We have a lot of wonderful EntreMD Business School students on that are going to share their experiences with the school. They're going to share their wins. The good thing is we have not just new students, we have some of our older students on as well. I wanted to include the new students just because I know sometimes there's that fear of, when I join the school, what's going to happen? When I join the school, am I going to do well? Am I going to find success? Are things going to end up well for me? And so because of that, it was really important for me to include some new students here. So we have Dr. Faison, who's already logged in and ready to go. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself. We also have Dr. Lucy Mitchell, who's going to come on a little bit later, telling us about their first 30 days in the school. Because has it been 30 days yet? Almost 30 days. And we are so excited. If you're watching me and you have thought about this, you've said, you know what, I really need to just do this school, but I just got to make sure it's good for me. I just got to make sure this is the right decision. I want to encourage you to book a call, entremd.com/call. I'm going to post it in the chat for you, for those that are joining us in Zoom. So you've got it there. And go ahead and book a call, and we are just going to have a conversation. That's all that's going to happen. You and I are going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about your business. We're going to talk about your goals, and we're going to look to see if we're a good fit. We're going to look to see if the school is a good fit for you. Believe it or not, there have been times where I've told people, you know what, the school is not a good fit for you at this time. I think you should work on this. Or, if this is a challenge for you, I think we should overcome that first before joining the school. So we're not going to strong arm you, but we're just going to have a conversation and get to know better. Dr. Una is beginning the new cohort starting tomorrow. So that's why I really wanted to make sure that we get everybody on, because there are exciting bonuses with that cohort. Number one, tomorrow's session with Dr. Una, it's laser coaching on steroids. Oh my goodness. Dr. Una is going to be there to answer your questions one-on-one. Imagine coming into the school and you have Dr. Una to answer your questions. Oh gosh. So tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for all the new students that have enrolled, Dr. Una has laser coaching with them. That you get to ask her, you know what, this thing I've been wanting to talk to you about, Dr. Una, since I heard you on the podcast. You get to answer that. That's a $5,000 bonus right there. And another thing, Dr. Una has for those who join the school and pay in full, she's going to do a call with you and your advisory board. Imagine that. Now, this one is a one-on-one call, just you and Dr. Una, not for everyone that joined. If you pay in full, if you're one of the, if you qualify to be one of the first top 5 that pay in full. So you and your advisory board could be you and your VA, it could be you and your office manager, it could be you and your partner, so that you get everybody on the same page with what's happening in the practice and what needs to happen in the practice, because of course that's going to be a strategy call as well. You're going to get access to the EntreMD Vault, so all those materials. Labor Day weekend is coming up. It's going to be a great time to just binge and get ready to go. So amazing bonuses. Make sure that you sign up, or at least let's get on a call so that we can have a conversation. Okay. All righty. Dr. Faison, tell us about yourself. We're so excited. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, my name is Dr. Faison. I am a board-certified internal medicine physician, and I am located in Prattville, Alabama. And I joined the business school in July of this year. So joining the business school was actually a birthday present to myself.
Oh,
I wanted to do something to kind of invest in myself, and so this was the thing that I did for my birthday this year.
can I
So
interrupt you right there if you don't mind?
yes.
If you don't mind. Only and I hate to interrupt you. The only reason I am is because the topic of tonight's live is why I joined why I joined the business school. And you said, and I think I remember you saying that when we had our conversation. You said you wanted to do this as a birthday present to yourself. You wanted to invest in yourself. Can you just talk a little bit more about that before you go into the rest of the story? Please let us know why.
Well, investing myself, I mean, we all go to medical school. We know we don't learn the business aspect of medicine in medical school. And I started a practice and really just kind of felt like I needed something more. Like, okay, I've gotten started, but I'm not really sure what to do from here. I know what I may want to do, but I don't know how to do it, and I need some more help. And from my experience, there are other doctors who are private practice physicians around me, and they're willing to give advice here and there. But the truth of the matter is, they're busy running their own practices, and so they don't really have time to have a close mentorship with anyone. And so I felt like this was something that I needed. Like, I need to invest in a mentor. I need to have some type of mentorship to show me how to get to the next level. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is, invest in myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Knowing what you need and knowing who has what you need and just going for it,
Mhm.
because otherwise, how else are you going to get that information? A
Right.
mentor shorten your pathway to success. You only
Mhm.
know what you know. And you're someone that already had a practice, you had already grown it to a considerable amount. So um you had already achieved so much, but to get to that next level, you really would need a mentor. So on wonderful. So tell us what was life like before the school?
Before the business school, I would say, I and let me just say before Dr. Una, because really, my journey with Dr. Una was before I actually joined the business school. But before then, I was someone who wanted a private practice, but wasn't sure if I could do it or how I should do it or what I should expect or anything like that. And I was at a conference and someone brought up, Dr. Una's name in the book. And so I devoured it and started devouring podcasts. And then I just got to this point where, like, I need more. I need more knowledge. I need more information. And so the next natural step was for me to join the business school. Um, so that's where I was. I credit Dr. Una with me being able to start an internal medicine practice that was insurance based, that is insurance based with, 6 or 7 patients on my schedule the very first day. That was something that when I was thinking about starting a practice, I didn't even think it was possible. Like, you think that you start the first day and you're just kind of, holding your thumbs and hoping somebody will show up. And Dr. Una's like, no, you don't build it and hope they'll come. You have to be active and proactive about making sure that you get people to be there. And so that was very helpful to me, especially because I opened a practice not without a big loan. I am a single parent and I am the sole provider. And so I, was not in a position to have a huge loan and everything to start a practice. And so it had to be very practical for me. I started very small. And so, um, yeah, I think that was me before the business school, just kind of scared and not really knowing what to do and not knowing what to expect. And there was a physician here who she started her practice with 300 patients, right? Like on the first day. And so that was kind of my motivation. Like, I want to be able to do something like this. I think I may have had 100 patients in my queue or whatever, but I started patients on the patient on had patients on the first day because of Dr. Una.
That is amazing. Wow. And jazzy hands to you too, because it's not just Dr. Una. Of course, Dr. Una gave you the strategy, but you actually implement it. And I tell people all the time, if you implement what Dr. Una tells you, you will get the results. So a lot of times when people are thinking about joining the school, they're wondering, well, is this going to work for me? And you already knew about somebody that joined the school and was able to get busy from day one. And then you're like, well, if it worked for them, I can do it. And you've got already 100 patients on your wait list, and you haven't even been to school have you been 30 days yet?
Well, actually, my practice is over a year old now, and we are scheduling patients about 6 to 7 weeks out for our new patients. And so at this point, I'm looking to add on a part-time nurse practitioner or other provider. But we have well over, the last I checked was about 1,200 patients in the roster. I don't know how much where it's gonna be before I'm actually full.
Okay, and then but you've gotten new patients since joining the school.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. And so the 100 patients you're talking about are among the new patients.
The 100 patients I'm talking about is like when I opened the practice on the first day, I had 100 patients that I knew
Oh,
that were
from the
following me.
podcast. Okay.
Mhm. Just from, yep, absolutely. So I'm excited to see, with me being very new to this, I'm excited to see where things will actually go once I have the cojones to actually implement what Dr. Una, is teaching us with the videos and the YouTube and all of that stuff, right? It scares me tremendously. But one of my wins is that I have made 2 videos, not the having completed the challenge, but I did make 2 videos, and I feel a little bit more comfortable with that whole process.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Because a lot of times people are worried about making the video and, how I'll sound, how I'll look. Will I be able to do it? Will I be able to take on the challenges? But the school is very helpful in that. We help you in terms of what you should say and how to create content that applies to your ideal client, how to speak, all of those things are taught in the school. So, and then not only that, there's the support, right? There's the support of the community. What components of the school would you say have contributed to your success?
One, the main one is community, right? So,
Mhm.
I think that the community being able to get on the Facebook group and just ask a question and have people to respond, and encourage you, is, that is priceless. That one thing is worth it. The other thing is the resources. There's a lot of information in the vault, so go back so you can kind of learn things on your own. And so there are resources available to you to kind of learn really as much as you want to learn at one time. And then the third thing that has been really helpful to me and that I enjoy is the CEO Power Hour. I didn't really understand it at first, but having an hour set aside to really just kind of, get some things accomplished, and also talk to the other people to see kind of what was going on. We had a really good one last week when we were talking about, just Dr. Tumor was going over, like, this is what you need to do on your videos, and this is what, my experience. And she was just very helpful with, and open with sharing her experiences and encouraging me as far as, doing the videos and stuff like that. And so I think the CEO Power Hour is golden. And those would be my top 3 components, I think, that, really help with, being successful.
Awesome, awesome. So let me just explain some of the things that Dr. Faison mentioned, just in case you're not familiar with it. So when you join the business school, you get access to every single live session that the school has ever had. That's 4 years of live sessions. And so a lot of times people will ask me, well, what about me? What about my specific questions? Like maybe Dr. Una is talking about videos, but I still need to work on who my ideal client is. That's a simple answer. You can get that answer from one of the ways you can get that answer is through the EntreMD Vault. Another way is what Dr. Faison mentioned is through the CEO Power Hour. The CEO Power Hour is where we get to actually implement together what Dr. Una has taught us. And it's invaluable, like she said. The CEO Power, it's a smaller cohort, meets you can choose a time that you meet, 4 different times to choose from. And you actually already have a time built in to implement what you've learned. The other thing is that Dr. Faison mentioned the community. The community is huge, right? She talked about reaching out to someone that is ahead of her in business and asking them for help, you know? So that is what the EntreMD Business School is all about. So please, if you're just joining and you're thinking about it, schedule a call. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if it's a good fit for you. Again, it's entremd.com/call. It's just a conversation. There's no obligation whatsoever. Dr. Faison has told us that she gave EBS to herself as a birthday present. And what would you say to someone else that's thinking about joining, but is still feeling a little hesitant? Because I'm sure you must have felt hesitant at some point, right?
Very, very hesitant. And you know, I talked to you a couple of times, but I would say to someone to just do it. You know, like it's gonna definitely change your life for the better. I am very, you know, impressed with the changes that I have been able to make in 2 months. I mean, so just do it. I mean, I was struggling with trying to figure out, like, you know, how do I start doing RBIs and how do I have a morning routine? Because I had none. And now I wake up every morning at 5:30, 5 o'clock, just almost without my alarm. And I credit that all to EBS.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Can we give her some love in the comments? Let people know how they can reach you, Dr. Faison, if they'd love to. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Faison. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I know you have a busy boy.
Yep, I
But
sure
thank you
do.
for taking time
Okay,
to talk
thank
with
you.
us. Appreciate you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now we have Dr. Lucy Mitchell. She's gonna come on. But before she comes on, I want to tell you a little bit about some of the bonuses for this cohort. For those of you who are trying to decide, that's another question I often get. Should I decide? Should I come on now? Should I join the school now or should I wait and, just join by myself? You can join by yourself. We definitely have rolling admissions, but joining with the cohort has its benefits. And one of the benefits that it has is that usually when you join with the cohort, you get bonuses. So let me tell you about some of the bonuses. Bonus number 1, small group coaching session with Dr. Una tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Small group coaching section. Get to ask any question to Dr. Una. Absolutely priceless. Make sure if you're thinking about the school, you already have made the decision to join. It's just a matter of when. I don't think you want to miss out on that. Number 2, of course, we have a special training, which is how to 10x your investment in the school. Do you know we've had people that made up their investment in the school, meaning whatever they paid for the school, they were able to make that money before they even started because of the resources in the school, because of what they learned and were able to implement. So how to 10x your investment in the school, you get that resource as a special bonus if you join with this cohort. You also get the one-on-one onboarding call with Team EntreMD to help you get massive wins in the first 30 days. We are here for you. We are going to help you get wins. We're going to help you make sure that you get to where you need to be. Okay, and number 4, you get access to the EBS Vault, which I just spoke about. So you get specific trainings. If there's a specific thing that you need to sharpen your skills on or something you may not know anything about and you want to get more skills on it, you can. And that's from the EBS Vault. So that is bonus number 4. And bonus number 5 is so huge. It's a one-on-one coaching call with you and one team member and Dr. Una. And that's for those who pay in full only, first 5 that pay in full only. So, but can you imagine if you've led a team of any size, you know how difficult it can be. And if you've ever had to try and share your vision with a team member, or try and share, a new directive with a team member, it can be challenging. But imagine if they're in the same room with you, they're hearing everything Dr. Una is saying. She's giving you and your team member a custom roadmap for what needs to be done to take the business to the next level. And they're hearing it at the same time that she's saying it. Amazing. Your team member gets to come into the room. So entremd.com/call. Let's have a conversation. and see if it's a good fit for you. Now we are talking so far. We've been talking to people who are relatively new to the school. Dr. Faison and Dr. Lucy Mitchell, who is our next guest, have joined. I thought it was 30 days, but looks like it's closer to maybe 45 days or so. They've joined towards the middle of July. Um, and they are here to tell us about their experience. And I thought it would be great to have them just because people often wonder, like, okay, if I joined the school, then, what is going to happen? How is it going to be for me? So Dr. Mitchell, welcome. Thank you for coming on. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm Lucy Mitchell. I am a PM&R physician and I'm board certified in interventional spine and pain, and I'm also an artist. And so with my business, it's different because it's not like the private practice situation. Because I was already in private practice, but now I'm doing art. I still practice medicine, and I'm trying to incorporate my art and also talking about pain because I'm also a pain management physician. And before the business school, there was Dr. Una's podcast, right? And
podcast.
oh yeah, and I remember listening to the podcast because I would be on my way to Birmingham, Alabama, every day in traffic, and so I was like, there has got to be something for me to listen to. And I stumbled upon the podcast, and I was like, what is this? And so just by listening, I was able to say, okay, you know what? Let me get serious about my artwork. And so from listening, I had set up my website, I had some merchandise, I had stuff, and I started to, add, pricing to my pieces, but I didn't know how to take it to the next step. And so more podcasts, and then she would have like these challenges that she would do on the Facebook group. Mm-hmm. And so then I would join the challenges, and it would make me think more and push myself more. And one of them was the Dream 25 for the Facebook, but in the business school it's different. It's like the Dream 100. Mm-hmm. And I remember when in my Dream 25 list, it was to be on the cover of a magazine. That's why I have my artwork featured on the cover of a magazine somewhere. And I thought was me reaching for like beyond stars and moons, right? And so it was September of, not last year, but the year before that, when my art was featured on a magazine. I was like, get out. So I remember sending that message to Dr. Una, thinking she's not going to get it, but she does, y'all. She does, and she answers. And I remember after she saw that, she invited me to be a guest on one of her other podcasts. And so I became a guest on that as well. And I thought, man, I just met a whole celebrity, like, online.
And you are a celebrity because those of you who don't know, National Private Practice Day art was done by this woman right here that we're talking to, Dr. Lucy Mitchell. She's the one that did the art for the National Private Practice Days. She did so good. Give us some love in the comments. It was amazing.
Well, thank you. But then ever since then, things were taking off. And I remember me saying, you know what, I'm going to join a business school one day. One day. But when was going to be that day? Like I didn't have like a moment. And then this past year, so last fall until before I joined the school in July, I was literally like, in a funk, I guess. I was like, hit a plateau. I didn't know what else to do or how to go to the next level, right? And again, I was still listen to the podcast and still see what was going on in the Facebook group, but I was still I didn't know how to get to level 10, essentially. Mm-hmm. And so that I went to EntreMD Live in Atlanta. So I was like, hey, it's in Atlanta. It's down the street. Let me go ahead and go. And y'all, I felt like it took me to church. Okay, this was a business church is what I felt like. But I got to meet so many people who I've seen online do amazing things from the business school, and just by being in the same Facebook group communities, I was able to meet these people there, and it felt like a whole family reunion. I mean, I felt like I knew everybody because of what they've seen. I've seen their growth, from the business school, from like the before and the afters, and to meet them in person felt like wow, because what they've done to me was wow. I was wowed essentially. And so at the end of the live event, I looked at Una. She said, when are you joining? I was like, now. I'm joining now. This is for me, because I'm like, why not? Because if not now, then when? Because I keep saying someday. But that day was today, that day. And since joining in July, I was able to go from being, hit a plateau to now I'm literally doing this. I'm moving upwards because I was able to see what I was missing. And what I was missing was being in the school and learning the things that I would not have learned otherwise. I would have probably learned it maybe 10 years from now, but by then it was like, dang, I should have done that, 10 years before. And so since joining the business school, again, it's been what, 45 days, I guess, whatever it is now. But I was able to so far generate over 25K in revenue versus before that, I was like, where am I at? Like, how much is the school? And I could, now I'm like, hey, and my trajectory is, even more as the next month, comes around too. And it's been amazing. And I'm doing more videos. So like one of my TikTok videos, again, I'm a spine doc, right? And so one of my TikTok videos, I was talking about urine drug screens because I was just venting one day, right? So I'm just going to post it, whatever. I didn't care. Yeah, right now I think it's like a 90K views off of P. It's like, I was like, really? But the things that we think people don't care about or wouldn't care to know, people care apparently. There's an audience for everything out there, and you don't know that they're there until you just put yourself out there. It doesn't matter how you look, how the camera angle is, the lighting. I mean, over time you'll get better, but if you never just put yourself out there, because I was never in front of the scenes, I'm a behind the scenes person. But I realized that when I put myself out there and I'm in front of my brand, then people are more receptive versus if I just put up a picture, everybody's like, oh, it's a picture. But if I get in the picture with my pictures and things like that, or if I'm doing like a little talk, then people are like, oh, wow, there's a face behind this thing. And so they're more apt to respond to you. And otherwise, I would have stayed hidden behind my brand otherwise. And so I've been able to accomplish a lot. Like Makita said, I was able to get the art for National Private Practice Day. And I also am the sole artist there's a basketball place here where I am right now, where I work. And they've seen my art, they've seen me talk. And now they commissioned me to be the sole artist for their entire building. Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I get to like design all the art,
bring you some
get
money
paid.
too.
Oh yeah, get paid quite nicely just to do that as well. And so it's been great. So it's been great.
That is awesome. So you've said so much. We have to talk a little bit. We have to break it into some bits and pieces. And thank you so much for being transparent. Thank you for sharing your story with us. It's amazing. Let's show her some love in the comments, guys. So first of all, I love the fact that you were implementing what Dr. Una taught you on the podcast, kind of like what Dr. Faison was saying earlier. She's like, Dr. Una taught me, I did what Dr. Una taught me, and I opened my practice with patients, and then, so she's like, well, that the free stuff is doing this for me, how much more the paid stuff, So I think
oh yeah.
Go ahead, Doctor.
No, I was gonna say that's true because I was thinking, I'm like, why would she give all this stuff for free? But then when you're in the school, you're like, well, now I see why, because there's so much more. I mean, there's so much more. I'm like, oh my goodness, a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because there's some people who are like, well, I'll just keep listening to the podcast. I'll just keep, whenever she does these workshops or whatever, I'll just go on a workshop, not knowing how much they're missing out on. I mean, look at your wins. You made 25,000, in business in like 45 days. So you're almost paid your tuition. I mean, with the money, I mean, you just basically made your money back within 45 days of joining. And not only that, we're not going to talk about the new contract with the basketball place. We're not going to talk about that, because you said you're doing the artwork for the whole building. So we're not, you don't have to say it. We just know that that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money coming in right now, and we're 45 days in. And what's responsible for that is you getting yourself out there, which you had done a little bit of, but how much difference since you got into the school have you been able to get yourself out there? I mean, 90,000 views on TikTok is nothing to see.
Yeah, and so every day, I'm posting something somewhere, because I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have TikTok, but every day, one or two of these outlets are getting something every day, but every week they're all getting stuff every week, And the thing is that, like, now that I'm more out there, my husband's like, hey, why don't you just, play some of your old stuff so that way the new people can see the old stuff, because they're probably not even looking that far back, And so a lot of times, you can recycle topics, and I could just remake videos of topics that I'm like, oh, that was good, but now there's more information I could add to that to make it better. And so let me just go ahead and just do that. And it's been a blessing. I will definitely say that. And I found a team. That was the other thing too, is the importance of having a team, because before joining the school, I'm always so busy. I'm like, I got kids stuff to do. My husband's law enforcement, and my kids are in cheer, varsity competition cheer, all-stars cheer, and also basketball. My son's in basketball, so it was always like running around, and I could never have time for me to focus on what I have to do for my business or even like regular work. And so, finding a team was something that I also did when I joined the school. Is I'm like, I need a team. And now literally, like, I get to have extra hours in a day, hours, not one, but multiple hours in a day to do stuff on my business and to get my own work done at work, like charts and stuff. I get to finish it at work. Like, I don't have to worry about, rushing to get the kids from school or to get to practice. I can literally do this stuff at work while they're already taken care of based on the team. So that's also been great.
That is so powerful, Dr. Mitchell. Thank you for sharing that. Imagine having extra hours in your day. I mean, who wouldn't need extra? I mean, that you're already living what people are looking for. People are looking for more time freedom, and you've just achieved that with just the 45 days you've been in the school. So thank you so much for sharing that story. Thank you for sharing your wins. Thank you for sharing, being so transparent about what you've learned and what's helped you in the school. I posted the link for the call, EntreMD.com/call. Let's have a conversation if you're even thinking about the school. Like Dr. Mitchell was like, you know what? Someday I'll join the school. I know that's where I'm headed. But she's like, well, why not today? Might as well just make it happen. Because someday is when it's going to stay someday until you do something. And your life is going to stay the same until you do something. Her life has drastically changed. Her revenue has increased. Her quality of life has increased. And, those are just the things we know about. So her life has drastically changed, and yours can too. Thank you so much.
And I'm sleeping better because of it.
Better. Oh my goodness. We all need more of that. Thank you, Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you.
So please, let's schedule a call and let's see how the business school can help you reach those goals. Now we have the amazing Dr. Rachel Rubin. If you can turn on, here she is. So good to see you, Dr. Rubin. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm Dr. Rachel Rubin. I'm a urologist with fellowship training in sexual medicine. So I take care of all genders for libido, arousal, orgasm, and pain issues. I do a lot of hormone management and menopause care. And I am a very fierce advocate for education, research, and advocacy in this space. So I speak a lot. I do a lot of social media. And I started my own cash pay private practice back about 2.5 years ago. And it's booming and growing, and it is unstoppable, with many in thanks to what I never thought I could invest in is coaching for myself. And could not even imagine doing what I am doing now. And it really has been a magical journey. So I'm really happy to answer questions, but really I was an employee after fellowship. I had trouble finding a sort of a standard job. And I started in a cash pay environment right out of fellowship as an employed physician. When COVID hit, it sort of made me realize that I knew there might be something more. I actually found the podcast, Dr. Una's podcast, during COVID, and I binged it so heavily. If you love the podcast and you can't stop listening to it, it's probably a good sign you like us and you should sign up. But what is so fascinating about the group is that at least for me, it has gotten me to believe in myself in ways that I never thought humanly possible. And that's after med school and fellowship and all of those things. And I think as doctors, we don't understand what personal and professional development really means, and how we are all a work in progress. And when you take doctors who are so capable and smart and hardworking, and you get them to believe in themselves just a little bit, holy hell, nothing can stop us. And so I had some success before starting EntreMD of building my name and a brand and a following. And I think when I started the business school, I think I had something like 2000. I think I barely had started Instagram. I had some Twitter followers, and then I got on Instagram, and I didn't really know how to do it. And I think when I started the business school, I'd have to look, but maybe like 2,000 followers or something like that. We just hit 63,000. We've been, because of social media, I've been in the New York Times, the Washington Post, NPR, PBS, I was on TV, and it's all because I am able to advocate my message loudly through practice, through just caring so deeply. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of that without this community. And I will tell you, the group is magic. The group is absolutely magic because you have so many people there going through similar journeys at totally different levels. And you are watching the joy of someone who hasn't started their business yet. You're watching the joy of someone who makes millions and millions of dollars, and they are all in the same place. And it is magic. It is magic when you get that energy. One of the things that's been so helpful for me is normalizing the ups and downs of all of this. And when you see other people experience their high highs and their low lows, and that the next day is going to be a high high, you realize that it's all normal, and it makes you feel so not crazy. And it's really magical to have all of these colleagues and friends sort of from all over the country, even all over the world. It's been a really, really incredible experience. And so I am not someone who's ever sort of done this type of programming before. There are a lot of people in the group who love coaching, have done it with lots of different people. I have never been like that. Gosh, Makita, I've been in the school now, what, like 3 years?
Yeah.
2 years? I think this is my third year.
Yeah,
And it's just to watch me I started the school when I was an employed physician. And on Tuesday, I have my 4th doctor starting in the practice. That is my practice. She is booked solid. This is a cash practice urogynecologist, and she's booked through the month of September. I mean, it's already booked and before she's even started. And so all of the skills, I'm working hard. I work so hard. I'm obsessed with what I do. Love what I do. And so I work my butt off, but it is joy. I skip into work every day. I feel so blessed to get to do what I do for a living. And I always say Dr. Una believed in me before I believed in me, and it's been fun catching up. So anyway, thank you for having me, and happy to answer questions if anybody has any.
I just have one quick question for you, Dr. Rubin. You said that you normally wouldn't do a program like this, and I want to address that because I remember you saying you're so cheap that you don't buy gum.
I'm so cheap. I am frugal. I do not. If you all saw my car right now, it would be embarrassing because the idea of buying a new car, because I have a very old car that I'm very attached to. I don't spend money easily, and it's a mindset thing. As soon as I actually got into EBS much earlier, and I chose to join the scale version, which is the larger version, because I knew there was more. And so I actually invested in that. And the way my brain flipped a switch was, this is my marketing budget. I have made lots and lots and lots of money. Patients travel to see me from all over the world because of my Instagram, because of my social media presence, because they see me in the national media. I've never spent a cent on marketing, not 1 cent. I've never paid for a Facebook ad or a Google ad. I've never paid to be in a magazine. I was just in my local magazine with a giant picture with a full article about me that they came to me for. And it is just, so for me, how much would I pay a marketer who would do a terrible job marketing for me? That would be a full-time job, which would probably be about $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 if it's something good, somebody good. And the fact that I haven't needed to hire that position, or now I'm in a place where I probably should hire that in that position, but now I have the money that I have saved up because of the income that has come in. So that's how I have viewed it. And so I think it pays. I just launched a course. I'm really passionate about teaching doctors evidence-based hormone replacement therapy in perimenopause and menopause. I teach all over the country, but my hour lectures do not really move the needle. And so I'm starting a physician mentorship program that I'm doing to really hold people's hands and say, this is how we do it. I have already done great in recruiting for that course because I am giving value to people of what they need. And I wouldn't have known how to do that unless it was for this group, and they helped me with the tech. They helped me with the pricing. They helped me with the marketing, and I'm still not that good at it. And that's what's so fun about it, because it makes me want to do more and learn more. But I wouldn't have that stream of income if it wasn't for this group sort of helping me kind of figure those pieces out. So it is, if you want to work and you want to have fun and you want to just meet the most lovely people on earth who are just excited to figure out how to do this, it's been a joy, and I'm really grateful.
Thank you so much for coming on, Dr. Rubin. This has been amazing. Let's give her some love in the comments. I mean, what she said, it's an investment in yourself, and she considers it her marketing budget. So those of you who are wondering, you know, or feeling like, okay, well, this investment is so big, how can I do that? I mean, it's her marketing budget. Can you imagine all of the things that she said that have come her way, all of the opportunities that have, and she hasn't even mentioned all of them, by the way, all of the patients that have come her way, all of the opportunities, all of the exposure, just the marketing exposure that has come her way. Just, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm so grateful, and please follow me. I'm very transparent. I am very flawed, and I have lots. I follow me on social media to see sort of that you can be real and human and still do this. I don't put makeup on. I don't look all fancy. And we are making, a celebrity was just texting me on a Sunday asking me my opinion on something, because that's normal to happen on a Sunday. It's absolutely crazy. It's a crazy, crazy thing. But I gotta go have dinner with the kids because life matters. I have exercised 93 weeks in a row because of EBS has gotten me to start exercising and taking care of myself. So you can still be a human and a mom. I have 2 small kids, 5 and 7. You can still do that in the process. And so you can't forget about life. So everyone have a good night.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rubin. And she said, follow her, ask her questions. She's very transparent. She will answer your questions. And she mentioned something that is so crucial. She talked about EBS cares about your life. She said that because of EBS, she's exercised every week for 93 weeks. Like, what does that have to do with EBS? And what that has to do with EBS is the fact that we work on mindset, right? Dr. Una posted mindset. Did you guys know Dr. Una's in the house? Oh my goodness. Maybe I can get her to come on and say hi to everybody. What do you guys think? Should Dr. Una come on? Let me know in the comments. Dr. Una, come on, or am I good enough? No, I'm just kidding. But Dr. Rubin talked about mindset. In this business school, we definitely talk about mindset. We definitely help you overcome some of the mindset drama that comes, especially when it has to do with pricing, when it has to do with raising your prices, when it has to do with feeling like a CEO, doing the things that you need to do in spite of how you feel, in spite of, you know, what may have happened in the past in your business. All of that is covered in the school. So if you're thinking about it, EntreMD.com/call. Let's get on, let's talk, let's come up with something that could work for you. Let's see if the school is your next best step. If it's not, I'll let you know, but let's explore it first. You know, Dr. Una has a bonus tomorrow with all of the people that join. It's a one-on-one group coaching with her. Absolutely priceless. So I don't want you to miss that if you're considering the school. And I want to answer any questions that anyone may have. So if there's any questions from anyone that may be still on, I'd love to answer your questions. Let me know. I am available. Well, you know, I'm going to ask Dr. Una to come on real quick because I want to talk to her about decision making. I want her to talk about decision making because what happens oftentimes is that we think about it, we want to do, you know, the title of this live was called, Why Did I Join the Business School? We talked with Dr. Faison, who said she joined as a birthday present to herself. She said, you know what? I need to make an investment in myself. Dr. Lucy Mitchell joined because she said, I am getting all these wins, all this amazing stuff is happening in my life just from the free stuff that Dr. Una has, just from the podcast, just from the workshops that she does, just from the Facebook group. I'm getting all these wins from the free stuff. So imagine if I do the paid stuff. So that's why Dr. Lucy Mitchell joined. Now for Dr. Rachel Rubin, she joined in spite of the fact that she is someone that's very frugal, doesn't believe in spending money, had never spent any money on marketing, and even up until now. I mean, were you as surprised as I am to see that Rachel Rubin has never paid for an ad? I mean, she's got into so many different she's into so many different publications, so many different television programs, so many different people have called her to come on, and she's never paid for an ad because she joined the business school as her marketing budget. If you have a business, you need help with marketing. Absolutely. If you market by yourself based on just what you know, your time for becoming successful is increased, so those are all the reasons why people have joined. But I want Dr. Una to tell us a little bit about how to make a decision and make it well. So Dr. Una, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, Dr. Una. Really appreciate you.
Hi, Makita. You have powers. You pulled me in. How are you? Okay, so you know the way I tend to think about things, right? And I think it's probably fair to talk to people in that way. So for instance, we are at the time of this, we are in August. We're at the end of August. We're about to get to the end of the third quarter of the year. And I like to have what I will consider a come to Jesus moments where you're like, okay, you started off this year probably saying this was going to be my best year yet. You had goals for your business. You had things that you wanted to accomplish. And if you're in a position where you're like, I have not attracted the clients that I want to attract, I feel so alone, like I'm doing this journey of entrepreneurship by myself. I am not, putting myself in a position where I'm leading my team. Like I'm actually scared of having a meeting with my team. I'm scared of, casting vision, like letting them know what I actually want for this business or for this practice. If you have what we call sanctioned incompetence, where people are there, they're not performing, what they're doing is not affecting the bottom line, you don't have the guts to correct them. You don't have the guts to de-hire them. We like that word better than firing, right? Your business is not making money. You're so stressed out. I was talking to a doctor the other day, and she says, like, I secretly don't want my practice to grow because I'm so busy. I'm like, oh my goodness, so you're at full capacity. She's like, no, not even close, but I'm so busy, right? And so if any of these things are true for you, we're in August and we've applied the waiting strategy, but the waiting strategy doesn't work. Nothing changes until we change something. And so if you're truly committed and you want to see your business win, then it's time to do something different. The EntreMD Business School is not about hype and fluff and being groupies or anything like that. I am, if you look at the person who is the mentor of the business school, I have been in private practice for 14 years. I have built a practice that was successful when I was there. I've built a practice that has been successful now that I've not been there for 2.5 years. You've seen our students who have come on. You saw Dr. Rachel Rubin, who started with a wait list of 350 people, right? You see Dr. Faison, who started off, created many wins from the podcast. And it's like, oh my goodness, but how am I going to take this to the next level? I need something more. You see Dr. Mitchell, who, oh my goodness, it's only been 45 days. And she's like, yeah, I'm an artist. I've brought in $25,000 in revenue, already. And I've gotten so many hours back every single day. Like this is the transformation you can have. And this is the transformation you want, right? And so the thing between you and that is the strategies, the mindset shift, the evolution you have to experience, a supportive community, a structure that will support not only your business goals, but also your personal goals. So you heard Dr. Rachel Rubin talking about, exercising for 93 weeks straight, and who is bold enough to say, I'm so glad I could come share with you guys, follow me, ask me questions, but I am going to go spend time with my family now. And the reason why she says that is because in EBS, we are all about the dream business and the dream life. It's not, we don't want you to build a business at the expense of your life. So who really does not want a business that works better? Who really does not want to evolve to become, like I'm already a great clinician, but I want to be a savvy physician entrepreneur? Who doesn't want to have time for the things that matter to them? Who doesn't want to lead their team confidently and really unleash the power of their team so their payroll goes from being an expense to being an investment? We want that, right? but there are mindset shifts that need to happen. There's strategies that need to happen. There's an environment for people who do that. It's an environment of champions. It's not a place where, everybody's like, oh, this is not working. I don't even know why we're here. Private practice is dead. Business is dead. Nothing's working. Like, nobody thrives in that kind of environment, but there's an environment of champions, right? And the EntreMD Business School community is that. And so I say all that to say that I understand what it is that the current state of things, and I understand what it is that you want. And the EntreMD Business School is deliberately built to be the bridge between those two things, right? It's deliberately built that way. And so I've done this long enough to know that, someone may say, well, Dr. Una, you don't understand. It's not the time, right? But this is the thing. As long as you're an entrepreneur, it will never be the right time. There will always be something going on in your business or your personal life that will let you know that this is not the time, right? And so we don't say, I'm waiting for the right time. We decide this is the right time, right? Like when I started my private practice, Makita, you remember, well, we didn't even know each other then. We knew each other shortly after. But, I had a 2-year-old and I had a 4-month-old. Is that the right time to start a practice? And at the same time we did that, we also started a church, my husband and I. Like that is not the time to do that. But guess what? Here we are 14 years later, and we thrived then and we're still thriving now, right? And so you don't look for the right time. You're the master of time. You decide this is the right time and then make it work, right? And you'll see many people going through the school, like, I was just in, our scale meetings, we have those on Thursday. I was just on a call with Dr. Rachel Rubin, who you just heard from, and you'll see that, this is just such a beautiful thing where you can have the highest highs and life is lifing, but you're such a pro at handling the challenges of life that you're like, get in line, right? And it doesn't affect your state. It doesn't affect how you show up. It doesn't affect any of that because you've become a master at it. And a number of them on the call were like, I cannot believe that something like this happened. And it didn't faze me at all, because you can become that person, right? So we're the masters of time. We decide this is the right time and we make it work. And if you're like, oh, but like it'll be really challenging and all that, that's the whole reason the school exists. We don't expect you to handle all the challenges and come. We want you to come with the challenges and we'll handle them together. Some people will say, well, I don't know if this is, like if I will have the time, right? And I keep saying this because, the currency of your dream life is time, right? The time to spend with your family, time to spend with your friends, the time to travel, the time to build new skills you want to build. Like, Makita, I don't know if you know this, but I'm looking for a vocal coach. So maybe you're the one who will fix this, right? Like, but who has time for that? You make time for that, right? Now, so the currency of your dream life is time. And because we are so heavily invested in you having your dream business and your dream life, we take the time to show you how to master time, how to discipline your time and get what you want out of it. And so if you're thinking, I don't have enough time, that is not an indication not to join the school. That's an indication to join the school. You heard Dr. Lucy Mitchell's like, I got so much time back, right? And then some people will say, oh, well, I don't know, like it's a really heavy investment. So this is the deal. This is a lesson that I learned when I became an entrepreneur, and I'll give it to you for free. Okay. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is expensive. Ignorance is so expensive that it can be the death of your business. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I mean, I guess you should know me well enough by now. So these are not scare tactics or anything. This just is what it is. Not being aware of the right business model can crush your business. Not being aware of how to promote your business, how to market it, how to bring on the right team members, how to activate your team, all of that, they're all expensive. They're all extremely expensive. And so what you invest in the EntreMD Business School is the thing that will save you so much time. It will save you so much money. It will save you so much heartache. It will let you enjoy your journey as an entrepreneur because you're doing it with other people who have normalized this experience. It is not a cost. It's not an expense. It's not money you're throwing away. If you're putting away money in real estate, if you invested $30,000 in real estate, you'd be like, oh my goodness, I just did this investment, blah, 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 blah. Looking forward to the ROI. That's the same way I want to invite you to look at the school. It is not an expense. It is an investment. Dr. Lucy Mitchell, I mean, she's not even doing a private practice. She's doing art. And, like in the EntreMD Business School, we're like, fine, pick your business. We'll just show you how to build a business system around it. Okay. We don't pick business types, right? And here she is 45 days in and has already created $25,000 in revenue, right? So for her, it's the gift that keeps giving, because guess what? The skills she acquired that got her that 25,000, guess what she's going to be doing for the rest of her year, her first year in the business school, if I may, is continue to master, fine tune that skill. And so what it will do is it will keep creating more opportunities for her, more revenue. And so this is one investment that she did that is going to go on and on and on. And so I'm taking the time to say this because this is not a joke. This is not a sales gimmick. This is not us trying to manipulate anybody. What this is this is an opportunity for you. You're already a great clinician, for you to add on a savvy entrepreneur, somebody who can run a business like a boss, who can build team like a boss, who can build a dominant brand that attracts all the patients and clients that you want, who understands how to create revenue. You know, the way you understand how to run a code, you know how to follow the algorithm to run a code, you can follow the algorithm to create revenue, right? This is an invitation, an opportunity to become this kind of person and build your dream life concurrently. And so I am so excited because tomorrow I'm going to be sitting on a call with a number of you. And we are going to have our first call where I'm going to show you how to map out your next 30 days so you can crush it. I'm going to show you how to, get your investment back in your ROI on your investment in the school. Because I've been there, I've done that. At this point, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Like, I'm not doing this to manipulate you. I am doing this because I know what is on the other side of you developing these skills. You heard Dr. Rachel Rubin say, like, oh, Dr. Una believed in me long before I believed in myself. I'm just catching up with her belief. What she doesn't know is that my belief has gone I'm so far away. I'm just like, you have no idea what is coming. I promise you, it's so good. Just keep going. Right. And so it is an opportunity for you to up level, to make your dream your reality, to build your dream life. And I'm going to sit with some people tomorrow. We're just going to start this process. Your orientation is going to be just your cohort. And it's going to be such an amazing 365 days that you will start acting like the people in the business school now. They created their own hashtag. They called it hashtag EBS for life. And, you saw Dr. Rachel Rubin. She's been in the school for 3 years. And there's so many others who've been in the school since the very first day it started. They have never left. And it's because it's from one level to another to another. As physicians, when we add these skills on, we become limitless. I mean, we are limitless, but we unlock that so we can start walking in it. And it is the beginning of something so magical and so great that I really hope that you take a chance on yourself. You bet on yourself and you say yes. It's super simple. You're booking a call. That's all you're doing. EntreMD.com/call. And you'll be talking with Makita. And really that is to say, hey, this is my business. These are my business goals. We can take a look at it and say, of course, we're suited to serve that. Or we're like, this is something that will be better for you to do. Nobody's going to strong arm you. Nobody's going to shame you. Nobody's going to put you under pressure. These are just not things that we do. We're truly here to support physicians and see physicians win. So, Makita, I don't think you were expecting a 15-minute answer from me, but this is what you get.
And I'm so grateful. Thank you, Dr. Una. That 15-minute answer was everything. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for just telling us like it is and giving us hope and inspiring us and letting us know. I mean, when Dr. Rachel Rubin talked about Dr. Una believed in me before I believed in myself. There's so many students, myself included. There's so many students that have had that same testimonial. So, we're here to help you. So even if you're at the point where you don't have the belief in yourself or you don't have the tools, that's what we're here for. EntreMD.com/call. Looking forward to meeting you. Looking forward to having a conversation with you. Looking forward to welcoming you to the best next years of your life. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Please share this,